Well, this week's Monday meditation, as I continue to read selections from the book of Galatians, we're going to read Galatians chapter 3, verses 10 through 14. And once again, I really encourage you to take some time and read through the entire letter of Galatians so that you understand what Paul's argument is, what he's dealing with. He's really dealing with individuals who were saying that in order to be a full Christian, you had to keep the law. And so that's what he's addressing, that we are not made right through obedience to the law, but we are made right through faith in Christ. And so keep that in mind as I read these verses. So again, chapter 3, beginning in verse 10. For all who rely on works of the law are under a curse. For it is written, Cursed be everyone who does not abide by all things written in the book of the law and do them. Now it is evident that no one is justified before God by the law, for the righteous shall live by faith. But the law is not of faith, rather the one who does them shall live by them. Christ redeemed us from the curse of the law by becoming a curse for us. For it is written, Cursed is everyone who is hanged on a tree, so that in Christ Jesus the blessing of Abraham might come to the Gentiles, so that we might receive the promised Spirit through faith. And really what Paul is saying here is the warning is that if you say the way to righteousness is by obedience to the law, you better be very careful, because that's a curse. Why? Because you've got to keep the law 100%. If you miss it in one point, you are doomed. And it's obvious no one keeps the law perfectly. Christ kept the law perfectly, and then Christ took upon himself our law breaking, our sin on the cross, to free us from that curse of the law. He obeyed the law for us, and he died to pay for our law breaking so that we might be made right with God. And that is the argument in these verses. Again, be very careful thinking that if I'm just good enough, God will accept me. No one is ever good enough. No one keeps the law of God perfectly. Only Christ did, and he did it for us. And then he paid for our law breaking by dying on the cross, so that through him we can be right with God. And that is where all Christians have to rest. Well, I hope that's an encouragement to you as you begin your week. God bless.